everybody, it is me, Corrie Sommers, your local Los Angeles luxury realtor. And today we're going to be discussing how to sell your home yourself and the top 5 things you need to know in order to do so. Stay tuned. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button below and click the bell for updates. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Okay, step number 1, it's all about the price and setting your price. Now, I know you might be wondering exactly how do I do this? Well, you really want to set the market price. And so this is something that you're going to need to make sure that you're in line with the market. In other words, sometimes people think, well, hey, my neighbor's house sold for 1.5 million last year. Markets change, they're ever changing. The market is never, quite the same year to year. There's always some differences. And right now in January of 2020, here in Los Angeles, we are still in a seller's market. Now things are taking a little longer to sell, but we are still in a seller's market. So you really can't compare something maybe a year ago, unless of course everything is the same. If your neighbor's home is 3,000 square feet and your home is 1,500 square feet, well, they're definitely not going to sell for the same price. That's something to think about and be aware of. You just really want to make sure that you set a realistic asking price for your home, okay? You don't want to be too high either, because if you set your sale price too high, people won't call, people won't show up, and your home won't sell. The market always determines your home sale price. So really, you want to make sure that you're being realistic when you set the ask price of your home as well, because inevitably your home will sell for what buyers are willing to pay for it. The market always determines the price of your home. Item number 2, and this is very, very important, photos. Almost all buyers today start their search online. They're either looking on a computer or their mobile device. And really and truly, you cannot go and take pictures of your home with a cell phone. It is just not going to work. It's not going to show your home in the best light. You really need professional photos by a professional who takes photos of real estate. They know how to light the home properly. They know exactly how to showcase the home so it'll attract and draw buyers. Don't go with your friend who does photography on the side. Maybe they will tell you they do some buildings, or they do, headshots. Unless they really have experience taking pictures of homes and you want to take a look at those pictures, you really should go with a professional photographer. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but it's really necessary. Video. Point 3 is video. Buyers love videos. It helps them to really see the home. It helps them to see the layout of the home. When they're looking at a 2D photo and they're seeing a picture of the kitchen and maybe a picture of the living room, they really can't tell the flow of the house. Where is that living room relationship to the kitchen? Where is the dining room relationship to the kitchen or the pantry? So buyers really like videos. In addition, if your home is going to be listed for over $1 million here in Los Angeles, you really need to have a video. Number 4, this is a really heavy one, and it's disclosures. Here in California, and really every state, there's disclosures that are pretty common across the board, such as a seller's disclosure, which can be a 7 to 15 page disclosure form in which you need to just detail everything you know about the home. When you've replaced a water heater, if there's ever been a leak, if you've had something repaired, any little thing you know about the home. But more than just that, here in Southern California, there are certain forms that are approved by the California Association of Realtors, to which I'm a member, and these are all the disclosures that are required by law. Now, they're updated every year, so if you're thinking, I'll go do an internet search and get all the disclosures, be very careful, because most of that stuff is outdated. And the other thing that you really need to be aware of is the number of disclosures in a purchase or sale here in California. It's pretty high, and there's some that need to be in a certain type of sale, and there's some that are required in another type of sale. But either way, you're looking at about 25 to 50 different documents that are required in the purchase or sale of a home. So you really want to make sure that you've got all of this covered. And part of this process is also escrow and title. You are going to need an escrow company to work with, because California is an escrow state, and you are going to need a title company to work with. Now, hopefully you have relationships with those, because otherwise, how are you going to know who's better from the other one? Everyone's going to try to get your business. How do you know who to go with? There's certain advantages to one title company over another, or there's certain title reps that are going to really go the extra mile. And if you don't have those relationships, this is something you really are going to want some help in, or really take some time to do research, calling escrow companies, meeting with them, calling title companies, meeting with them, and figure out who's the best person to work with. And just kind of going backwards a little bit, because there's so many disclosures here in California, it's important to know, you need to understand, do you need a flood disclosure? Do you need an earthquake disclosure? Do you need a wildfire disclosure? Is your property in a wildfire area? Do you know that? How do you know that? What about the TDS? There's, again, just a number of disclosures, and it's very important that you get everything required handled, because otherwise your buyers, not clients, but your buyers could come back and sue you. And I'll just give you an example. Let's say on your seller's disclosure, you didn't mention that the furnace doesn't work because you don't use your furnace. I mean, in Southern California, it doesn't get that cold. And depending on where you're located, maybe you're comfortable at 68 degrees. And so you don't mind when things cool down in the winter, and you've never used your heater, or your heater stopped working 5 years ago. And so you didn't replace it or fix it because it just wasn't important to you. If you do not tell that buyer, and they buy the property and they go to use the heater and the heater doesn't work, and they have someone come out and take a look at it, and that person says, hey, this is broke, and this has been like this for 5 years, or oh yeah, we came out on a call on this and we gave them an estimate, guess what? You will definitely be looking at the long end of a lawsuit. So again, I just have to emphasize that seller's disclosure is so critical, and there's so many other disclosures that are equally important in the buying or selling of a home. Okay, so point 5, the marketing and advertising of your home. Now, this is important because you're going to need to market it and advertise it to get it out there. Of course, you are going to want to put it on Zillow, you're going to want to put it on Trulia, you're going to want to put it on Realtor.com. One disadvantage that you have is there's probably a number of sites you won't be able to populate it to, but there are a good amount as long as you hit these 3. You can run ads in the LA Times and some of the local publications that are real estate related. You can send out mailers, send out a postcard or flyer to buyers in the area. You can send out a postcard to 500 of your closest neighbors to make them aware. The point is, when it comes to marketing and advertising, you really want to get the word out that your home is for sale. You can also do some social media advertising. You can do some Facebook ads, some LinkedIn, and all the platforms. And really, this is just important. Also, again, January 2020, while we are still in a bit of a seller's market, things have slowed. So gone are the days where you can put like a little for sale by owner sign out front and think that in the first week you're gonna have a bunch of offers. It's just not gonna happen like that. So you are gonna have to put some time and money into this process. So something to be aware of when you are selling your home on your own, there's going to be different groups of buyers. The first pool that you're going to come into a lot of contact with is investors. And investors are always looking to get the property for pennies on the dollar. And the reason is, some investors are going to come in and want to update the home to the most modern kitchen and bathroom and so on, and flip the home and make a profit. Or because of your lot size, they want to buy your home, tear it down and build a new construction home and make a nice profit. Or perhaps they're just trying to expand their rental portfolio because that's a part of their retirement goals and plans. Either way, they're always going to want your home for pennies on the dollar. Just be aware of that. The next group of people that you're going to come across a lot are those who really are not maybe creditworthy. They're those who they can't get an approval for whatever reason. Maybe they've had some challenges in the past, maybe they've had a bankruptcy, whatever the scenario might be. Those are the ones that are gonna say to you, hey, will you sell or finance? I really wanna buy your home. Or can we do a lease option to purchase? I want to go ahead and lease for 2 years, and then I'm gonna be able to get a loan, and then I'll pay you off. Or they might say something else that's creative, like, hey, I'm going to give you $150,000 down, and I want you to sell or finance for 3 to 5 years, and then I'll do a refi and pay you off. Well, okay, but if you need to sell your home in order to buy the next home, that's really not gonna work for you, and that could be a problem. So hopefully today's information has been really helpful to you if you're planning on selling your home yourself. And maybe there's a reason why you're thinking of doing this. Perhaps there's some updates to your home that you just can't do, whatever your circumstances is, and you're thinking that this is the best route. Well, I want to share with you, I'm currently with Compass, and Compass has a concierge program that will front some of those things. So let's say you need to replace your kitchen, or perhaps there's something wrong with your plumbing and that needs to be done over. or maybe like just your floors need to be redone or some sprucing up, Compass will front that, and it'll be something that can help you sell your home faster, quicker, and for more money. So maybe before you decide to sell it yourself, we should have a conversation, just kind of go over your scenario and see what's best for you. And hey, if selling your home yourself is what's best for you, by all means do it. Just know that I'm always here as a resource. And you know what? I also have an opportunity for you to get a monthly wealth update on your property. That link is below. It's the monthly wealth update. Be sure to click that and go ahead and put in your information and get a monthly update on the wealth of your home. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, and click that bell for all the updates. I will see you guys again soon.